guys. Hope you're well today. Just trying to like land a little bit and think about what because I had in mind to say a few things. One is that I don't know if you've noticed, but sometimes it's hard for me to do a love reading. You know, I sort of wince and apologize and say, oh, this can't be as good as it sounds, and so on. And yet it's the most important thing to me. Like, very often what's driven me to watch tarot is confusion and about connections, and you know, because that matters. It just really, I don't know how I got into the place of thinking I needed to sort of hold back on that. And one of the reasons I think it's important as an action to love is that, like with most things, you know, that involve learning and experience and so forth, you have to try to do it. You have to do it while you're learning how to do it. If you're going to learn how to swim, you need to swim in order to learn how to swim. You need to love in order to learn how to love. And I think that business of continuing to learn about it is what keeps it fresh, and it keeps it from turning into attachment or jealousy or possessiveness or, you know, neediness or all the things that can sort of tweak love and make it not as healthy as it ought to be. It ought to keep us growing and challenge us and bring us closer to each other, seems to me. And I don't, you know, and then I started thinking a little deeper into it, digging a little deeper, and realizing part of what has held me back is that I'm not in that kind of a relationship now, and I have been in several that were very significant and long-term. And, you know, so I sort of felt like, what qualifies me to do love readings? And then, you know, it's exactly that, I think, that I've loved deeply, lost in a certain way. The relationship transformed to the point where it was almost unrecognizable. And the one other thing that tarot really helps me with is the idea of the calling, the work that you do that, you know, answers that need. This is what I'm supposed to do, at least now in my life. I'm called to do this. I'm called to do it. And I think love, you can also feel called to not only to love in general, but to love this person. And how flexible can you be with that when the love changes, or you change, or they change, or circumstance changes? And I'm interested in where love and calling intersect, or don't. And the one other thing I was thinking about was that, you know, I've stayed in relationships way past the point where I knew, and I think the other person knew, this is a no-go. This is not, you know, something, we've passed some point of no return. And yet you stay, you tie up loose ends, you wait till you're brave enough, you set up the idea of where's the next place I can land, and all kinds of reasons that it doesn't happen like that. And in my case, definitely didn't happen like that. You know, years beyond, and you know, it can be because one person is sick, or because you have a kid together, or, you know, any number of things that are legit reasons. And yet it can also, you can run out the clock. you know, the opportunity where you might have lined up with somebody through no fault of anybody's, or maybe through fault of somebody's, but in any case, it's the point of no return. So I was feeling a lot of resentment for people who I thought, you know, I was sort of scornful because they took so long to get out of whatever I perceived as the wrong situation because it kept them from being with me. You know, then I'd feel scorn. Like, why couldn't you do this faster? And, you know, didn't you know? And this morning I really checked in and said, wait a minute, have I done that? Have I gone too slowly because I had to and I missed opportunity? Yes. So it just made me look again at my impatience and sort of scorn of people who don't work on my timeline. And that's a hard one to look at in a way. It's like, geez, I mean, it took me years of like, to get around to that place of, wait a minute, have I done the same thing? Oh yeah. And the last image that came to me was the idea of a window of opportunity. You know, that idea of running out the clock. And then, you know, where it's just like, the buzzer goes and everybody has to go home because game over. And that brought on the image of, like, you see it in action films where the gate is closing or the thing is coming down, and our hero slides under at the last minute, or they sweep through at the last minute, clang, and then it's shut. So there's the idea of like the window of opportunity is certainly closing, but can you dive under the, you know, does your inspiration to finally go for it get you under the wire? So that's what, you know, it's all about kind of timing and patience, and also legit when you don't make it under, boom, it's gone. You're going to have to find another way, and you may never. Relationship. That's, you know, I think that's what we want to puzzle our way through. You know, is this my calling? Is this where I belong? And is this the relationship I'm supposed to hang in with or give up on, or, you know, transform? And in what way do I have to change myself, not try to tweak the other person? I'm all for trying to tweak the other person, you know, because I think I know, you know, I know you better than you know yourself and all that. Jesus. So one more, please, Spirit. It's such a thing for us here in this dimension. First card out. A wheel. I love that in this, you know, in light of the question we were asking, because this is about the stepping up, stepping into something that you're now aligned with that moves you forward into the place you're supposed to be. You know, now is the time, wheel says. And it's often, I get the image of the, like the roulette wheel, where eventually the ball goes, you know, view, spin, and boom, you align with a certain place in the wheel. And that's sort of like this. The other one I like is the Ferris wheel, where you'll go round and round and round, and then there'll come an opportunity to get off or to continue, you know. And I think wheel suggests, you know, through timing, through divine timing, it's now the time to sort of step off the wheel and say, this is where I want to be. This is who I am. This is my karmic destiny. And now's the time. And until this happens, you can't, you know, you can't spin the wheel for somebody else. You can't sort of say, you know, time out, But it might also be true. The window might be past. Here comes Rue. Hello, Rue. Tell us about this divine timing, please. Wow. These two cards I often conceive of as very related. This is World. It has that same circular thing. And the same individual in relation to the wheel. One stepping through, perhaps stepping, you know, like I said, it's time to get off and come into the next thing. And you're sort of accepting the invitation from, you know, circumstance, the universe, whatever's created this alignment, to say yes. It's sort of, these are cards of yes. Two major arcana. Starting off with yes, yes. Okay, one left on the board. Nine of Cups. This is a card, I mean, she's tossing them all in the air. You know, as if, I get the message from this, can't lose. This is a card of wish fulfillment, of getting what you love, loving what you get as well, a celebratory, cups energy, feelings energy, exuberance, open-heartedness, you know, wishes granted. So whatever's opening up for you, I would suggest is a wish granted. This is what you love. Which I think dovetails nicely with me coming to the understanding at the end, you know, way along in my life, way, that I'm still in the position of loving while I'm learning to love. And I think, too, Real World suggests getting under that door that's shutting, or between the doors that are shutting, is cause for celebration. Because it allows you to step into, you know, what you conceive of as your joy. Yay. Okay, perfect. Queen of Cups. Oops. Oh, this is sort of the one who can feel with all of her being, this kind of joy. And who can approach the world with the expectation that I can love and be loved. That's my joy. I can step into a role. The central aspect of that role is that I have an open heart. I have an open heart. Queen of Cups, a water sign. Nine of Cups, water energy. And look at her, she's like this. She's got her eyes, she's in ecstasy. She's in ecstasy. And I notice around her is this circle, echoing the circle of the wheel. And the circle, the aperture, the portal of the next level, the world. A conclusion of one thing and a beginning of the other. And wheel is sort of the other, and it's a good thing. It's lining up, or you're aligning, or both, with the good thing. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio in Queen of Cups. Not necessarily those signs, but that energy. It's about love. Tell us about the world, the wheel, please. Tell us about wheel. This alignment. This cyclical. Strength. Sorry. I think it's like having the fortitude, the strength, the courage is maybe a precondition for these things lining up. And I think it's also kind of like knowing yourself. Knowing yourself. And, you know, often kind of Leo energy can speak to the self. The self you show the world. Oops, wow, that was weird. Hang on, dropped one. Let's just see if I can find it. Yes, I can. It's hiding from us. And it is. Queen of Wands in this energy. We may be talking about two people here. Could be a same-sex couple. Could actually be the same person, two different aspects of them. But this is sort of, I was going to say, what you show the world. What you're willing to show the world, which is who you really are, which is a bit of both lion and lamb. You're strong in both your gentleness and in your power. In your gentleness and in your power. Well, Queen of Wands is in your power aspect. Queen of Cups is in your feeling aspect. I'm in my power and I'm loving. And I also always see strength as sort of the integration. The lion with the lamb, the lion with the individual. The face is half lion, half woman. Queens do not mean necessarily the woman. It's just the receptive, like in this one. I give and receive love. And like I receive it in this way, sort of from, you know, the source of love. Yay! That's what I want. That's my dream come true. And this is sort of my passion, my purpose, a Queen of Wands. The element that says, I've got it. there's the light sort of landing in the palm of her hand. It's a little bit like I'm all that, you know, I got it. Celebrating yourself. I think Walt Whitman famously said in Gifts of Grass, I celebrate myself, I sing myself. Well, look at her. She's got a wand in her hand, but again, there's this idea of like, Queen of Wands would celebrate herself and sing herself. It's also like the poet energy. Wands are inspirational and creative. What you're willing to show to the world. And this is like showing it to the world. Queen of Wands says sort of, here I am. Here I am. So it may be something like, you've been loving, you've gotten your fulfillment, a dream come true that brings you to a next level. But I'm stepping into some kind of role where I'm willing to be seen. Like, look at me. Look at me. You know, I'm showing you who I am. And I feel, Queen of Wands, confident. You know, I'm not hiding anything. Tell us about Nine of Cups, please. Nine of Cups, Spirit. What? Okay. Wow. Tower. Well, Tower, you know, while it can be something dramatic, surprising, outside your control, it's not necessarily a disaster. And in fact, it's a liberation. It's outgrowing something to the point where you know, you bust out. You bust out. And this looks to me like a card of a Nine of Cups of busting out, of the love just, it's like, you know, those Christmas poppers where you pull both ends and it goes snap and things, confetti comes out. It's like this thing is cracked open and you get it, you know, you get what you want. It pops out. But it's going to be a game changer. And it may surprise you the way those poppers would. They go bang, and then the confetti comes out. Both in the sense of surprise and, you know, impact, loud, something loud. Tower is not the gentle thing that sort of creeps up on you. It's like the sudden kaboomy, and it might be a revelation. But it's a revelation for the good that busts you out of this constraining thing. But it could also be the revelation, the epiphany that you don't have control over. It comes like a lightning bolt out of the sky, and it blows up the status quo. Let's put it that way. Blows up the status quo, which Queen of Wands would do. And not sort of like, I'm going to go out there and blow up the status quo, but there's something just in her power. Her courage to be who she is. All aspects of herself, lion and lamb, to integrate. Tell us about Tower. Because there are butterflies coming out, transformative energy, and there's the little squirrel. You know, who's in the sort of updraft of this boom. Because his hair and his tail and, you know, his ear hair and everything is like woo in the updraft. It's not bad. You know, there are his acorns. You know, what he's stored up has not been blasted. But he's no longer sort of in his hidey hole. And neither are you. Not in your hidey hole. You know, it's time. It's the time that you're aligned. This is your karmic destiny to sort of step out into the world. I just think this is a great, so far, really so very good. Oh, geez. Okay. We're taking them. First out, Two of Cups. You know, we're talking about relationship and connection and how that's the most important thing, and that you can't rush it. You know, you can't rush the going out or the coming in. You know, you may get everything you wanted, be fulfilled in yourself. But we have Two of Cups on Tower. Two of Cups on Tower, or next to Tower. It comes under Queen of Cups. Okay. Five of Cups, the loss, the feeling that you've lost, the feeling that it's all going down the drain. You know, there's a big sort of sinkhole here. Again, the circle. It's all going down the drain. Well, in fact, there's one of them right next to her that's not down the drain. It's got colored, some kind of loveliness in there, like full spectrum light, which is also here in the Two of Cups, pouring down from the entwined hands. And I'd almost think that all is not lost. I get again the idea of sliding under the door. Sliding under the door. But in Five of Cups too, it almost looks like her energy in the form of this light is going out of her and is circling the drain. You know, being in a posture of grief where you don't see the good feelings that are not going down the drain. Your focus is just on, these are going down the drain and I'll go with them. It's kind of like my last act of love will be to disappear into the grief. King of Swords on Tower, right next to Queen of Swords. I'm sorry, King of Wands on Tower, right next to Queen of Wands. And see how she's sort of, hey, she's holding her hand out. Hey. Hey there. He's on Tower. With the lion. With the lion. All this fire energy. These two match in terms of passion and on that level of sort of unfiltered feeling. And something big may have happened in the King of Wands character's life. And remember, I said something about, like, what qualifies me to even throw cards on the question of love? Well, that I've experienced both sides of it. Who, really, who hasn't? All love, no loss. All loss, no love. I just don't think that's, if we're alive, we're going to experience both. And be able to somehow synthesize both. In your gentleness and in your sort of ferocity. And ferocity is not quite the right word. Okay, on Queen of Wands, Two of Swords. Can be a block, a mental block, can be a decision. Like finally getting the message. I don't really know. Two of Swords sometimes demands the decision. Like you're at a crossroads, you cannot live at the crossroads. And in fact, the crows are coming to try to entangle this person. Who's stuck in their heads trying to decide. And on Strength, Four of Swords. Kind of not talking at the moment, but because you're healing. Because somebody's healing. Gathering their strength and courage. And integrating. Also a card of compassion. For me, it really is. For yourself and for the other. And I'm always struck by the fact that she's not in pain. It's a card of healing, but not in pain. Not in Three of Swords energy. She's healing her heart. And it's working. He, she, they. Kind of shoring up their strength. Four of Swords, in that taking the respite time to gather your strength and heal. Kind of complete the healing process. You're in the nest, you sort of gestated. And I have to say, who could who could bust through Two of Swords energy? Well, nothing really holds her back. So that puzzles me a little bit. Bottom of the deck, Ten of Swords. Well, something had to end. A painful cycle has been healed through kind of personal courage and strength. Personal courage and strength. I'm still a bit puzzled by the Two of Swords. Like, well, I said when you stay beyond the point where you should, I've done that, or should, that's sort of weird, but where you knew some relationship was cooked, and you couldn't, it still took time to get out, and maybe you got out by sliding under the door. Kind of nick of time sort of thing. And the other thing I wanted, and I've totally forgot about it till now, but I wanted to mention, when you finally know, when you're finally able to extricate, and Ten of Swords, something it's done, and I'm walking away. I've completed the cycle, I'm walking away. And this is, in traditional Rider-Waite, the person with the 10 swords in their back. This one it isn't, but it's all the birds are flying and somebody's on the move. The other thing I was thinking is, what makes me break the connection? And it's very often what somebody has said. They can do it, and I might not see the red flag or be so invested, so in love that I don't, many stupid things can be said on both sides. But then somebody will say something that just like, oh no, hell no, done, I'm walking away, Ten of Swords. Swords speaking to, words, often 2 words. And there's been an impasse, a hold up. But I think ultimately, the deal was, what broke the connection was words. Somebody said something that the other person couldn't unhear. Maybe both to each other, I don't know. It indicated the end of a cycle, but the beginning of a new cycle. And I think when it ends because of the bad exchange or the bad, the words that indicate a betrayal, when it ends that way, to me, what can repair it are not more words, because at that point words have become a bad currency, sort of. Now, I've been burned that way before, so like la 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 la, I'm not even going to listen to it. When that's the case, doing it, taking action that shows, and both of these are cards of taking action and the sort of showing it aspect. We match in our wand energy, and somebody's willing to take action. And that's on Tower. And it might be, I'm willing to blow up the whole thing to come into my own. No longer at a crossroads. I'm drawn to you. I'm drawn to you. And the Queen of Wands is sort of saying, yeah, you are. You know, and that's worthy of celebration. Instead of sort of saying, well, where were you so long at the cross? You know, you ran out the clock. That's not this. That's not this. On wheel, 9 of Pentacles. Card of independence. Of being enough. On your own. And not only like, oh, I guess I'm enough. This is like, I'm abundant. It's a little bit in the same energy as Queen of Wands here. It's like, you know, because neither of those characters chase. 9 of Pentacles person isn't going to pursue people because he, she, they are good on their own. They're stable, they're abundant, they're good with themselves. On wheel. How about on world? I mean, again, stepping into wheel, stepping into your karmic destiny where everything aligns. And this is the individual doing it. Stepping into their karmic destiny, which is the best version of themselves, 9 of Pentacles. And what they bring to life. Pentacles are earth energy. Tell us about world, please. Oh, come on. Stop. It's really disorganized. Okay. On world, we have 10 of Pentacles. So we go from the 9 of Pentacles to the 10 of Pentacles. From individual security, knowing your own worth, stability, to world, this new era where the group is stable, the family is stable, the situation is stable. Stepping into it in earth energy, in how, the thing we create here. On 9 of Cups, 4 of Cups. Well, this is a card of longing and missed opportunity often. You know, that the window's closed, basically, or you think it is. That's on 9 of Cups. And on 4 of Cups, this sort of missed opportunity, there's the hand coming in from the side with the cup. It's not really missed. Somebody's just not seeing it. So sad they can't see it. A little bit like 5 of Cups. It's not circling the drain, but it's like, oh, it's taken all the air out of my lungs. It's taken my hope. Ace of Wands on Queen of Cups. Sort of the reignition. That fire energy. Queen of Wands, King of Wands, Ace of Wands. It's a new beginning. It's sort of like love has kept the window open for this new beginning that somebody can envision. Now they can see it. Now they can see it. And then Queen of Cups sort of, this is a hallelujah kind of posture. Yes. Remember I said there are cards of yes? Wheel, World, Nine of Cups, Queen of Cups. I'm good in myself. The whole situation, world, is secure now. I mean, we've aligned for now. This is the time to get off the Ferris wheel. This is solid ground where things can grow, where things are valued. And where you don't cut off your heart because you didn't get what you want when you wanted it, this character doesn't. I'm going to get another on that one because that's confusing to me. Well, there's a message coming in that will address that very issue. And I think it's something like, whoever was at a crossroads is no longer at the crossroads. Like they're booking it. They're coming in with something to say. And I think the message is, I've healed this inability to talk. Here I am to say something. I've mustered my courage. No longer at a crossroads. I know my own worth, Queen of Wands. And I've broken out to take action. I've blown up the status quo to take action because I've come into my personal power. And the painful cycle that created an ending, and this feeling of it's all going down the drain. It's all going down the drain. This Two of Cups, this connection that really meant something. Somebody's coming in to talk about it. And I think that, to tell the truth. They're coming in fast to tell the truth. They're taking action. It's not the status quo. This will change everything. This bad cycle, the things I said and perhaps you said that just tore it. Remember I said, what can fix that? Action. What you do. The words can end it. What can repair it? The action. Because more words at this point are not likely to get us out of the crossroads. And yet, somebody's coming to say words. To say words. And I think it might be like that cycle of bad words or inability to communicate, or the fact that something went wrong with communication that ended this thing. Which one or both people deeply regret, because this was a connection. This was loving. How did it go so wrong? Well, I think somebody's coming in to talk about it. They're taking action for sure, and it's fast action. And I would guess it's on the part of this King of Wands person, the action taker, right? Who has the courage to talk about it now, because they've healed their wounds that had to do with somebody communicated very badly. Maybe both parties. Okay, and I think this is done I really think this is cooked, but we'll look one more. Okay. Four of Wands. Yeah, no, it's not cooked. It's not cooked. It's not cooked in the sense of not over, not killed. And maybe until now hadn't been cooked in the sense of done, ripe, ready. You know, don't take the cake out when it's still batter. But the meeting place, the place where the two things come together, and I think I said sort of like where the love and the calling come together. Reunion, meeting place, in Wands energy of the King and the Queen of Wands. It's happening. That's what they're saying so loudly. It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. After a holdup. Because what needed to happen first was this healing and this integration. And now there's a match pair. There's a match pair. Passionate match pair. Loving match pair. Where, you know, this business of the delay and that it'll never come, that's actually already being offered, will come. Yay! Yay. Hallelujah. I'm glad for you guys. I hope this resonates with you. It's all about the coming together, the integration, the healing. After loss, after an apparent ending. And it sure was the conclusion of some sort of cycle, the world, that leads you to a much more stable place. You and your beloved. And I think somebody held out hope and held the vision, open-hearted vision. You know, like I sent out the prayer, the wish, you know, because I felt lost and lonely, and it came in. So recognize it, you know, if it comes in, and I think you will. I think you'll recognize it. You'll recognize each other. That's been a big thing lately. It's the business of, like, recognizing each other. I know what you mean to me. After the stupid things that were said, I can undo them by stepping up. And I must, you know, King of Wands is not dissuaded. King of Wands takes action. And action was needed in this. Great movement forward. Wheel. Great movement forward into the place we're supposed to be. Hallelujah. Yeah, you know the drill. Please go like this. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. It's a place there that'll say subscribe. It's free. It'll show you then a series of bells, bell icons. You can hit one that says, don't tell me anymore. You can hit one that says, tell me a selective amount more, like to do with my sign, or I want to hear every time you post something that YouTube will let me know when you post. through a subtle kind of, bing or whatever, you'll get a little notification from YouTube. That's free, but it supports the channel, and that matters. Matters to me. And if it matters to you, just hit subscribe. Just do it. Righto. Till next time.